finish the split strong, fighting for that playoff bye.
Yeah, and it's a close race versus CLG Academy and could ultimately come down to a tiebreaker match next week. So Team Liquid will need every win that they can get to ensure that they are on top. After last split's disappointing exit from the spring semifinals, you know that Team Liquid have their eyes firmly set on the playoffs and have a hopeful finals appearance.
Absolutely. They're up against OpTic Gaming, who are still in the running for the postseason, but will need to clean up their play in order to secure a spot.
Yeah, OpTic are in complete free fall since the first half of the split. They are currently on a 7-game losing streak and winless in the second half. Now, fortunately for them, TSM's win over FlyQuest has created a little bit of breathing room, so OpTic won't be eliminated from the playoffs with a loss tonight, but they will still need to sweep their games to avoid a potential tiebreaker.
Right, so they sit under TSM with that, their win now, so they want to catch back up and do a little bit more work. It's going to be tough. With the stakes set, let's get into the starting lineups. On the blue side, it is Team Liquid, the boys in blue. Top lane is Viper. Jungling is Hard, Insanity in mid lane, Shoryu at bot, and Joey as support with Team Hero as coach.
And on the red side is OpTic Gaming Academy, Alorim in the top lane, Fnatic in the jungle, Palafox in the mid lane, Eclipse in the AD carry position with support Gate and Coach Cop.
This as well, a win here definitely puts TL over Clutch in the standings as well, moving them to third. So that always feels good, being able to get a last few wins. So Team Liquid really looking to fire on all cylinders here, but I'd say more so OpTic are going to be hungry for this win in a spot where you can achieve some greatness on the split is when you really start to dig in.
Yeah, and I was singing their praises when they were 6-2, and I was like, Palafox is great. He's carrying a lot of these games. He looks fantastic. And then, you know, 7 losses later, suddenly I don't feel so good claiming these things, and they have a tough matchup versus TL Academy, who have had their ups and downs. There's a little bit of a consistency issue with this team, but they're still clearly a very talented group of players who pick up a lot of wins.
Looking at first phase of bans, Viper getting his tried and true Riven ban at him. It actually hurts OpTic being on that red side for sure. Aatrox getting banned out as Swain, Talia, and Alistar. An interesting few coming from Team Liquid Academy.
And we'll see if OpTic bans out the Nocturne. Early on in the split, TL grabbed a lot of their wins, and there it is. They grabbed a lot of their wins off Nocturne plus other globals and tearing the lights off on people. So no surprise to see OpTic continuing to respect that. They put it last to see if TL would pick it up. Of course they don't. Instead they pick up the Kindred.
Kindred it is. Safety in the play, aggression in the early jungle. We'll see how they answer on the side of OpTic Academy.
Rakan, maybe.
Do it, man. It's up. I am baffled when teams leave it up now. Or, I'm sorry, leave it to be picked.
To be fair, a lot of them think Varus is an extremely strong pick right now, and it's not something that combos quite as well with the Rakan. So if you're basically picking your bot lane between those two things, do you want the Varus or do you want the Xayah Rakan? Here you would expect TL to go for that unless they got another aggressive bot lane planned. I wouldn't mind seeing another Pike plus Vladimir or something like that. I like them kill lanes.
Kill lanes are great. Oh, let's go. More Kennen.
You said there could get 2 more games. You got
we
both
had
of
2
them.
more. You said we could get it. And we did. Thank you, Mark. Rise is locked in there as well.
Yeah, the Rise pick is interesting because that does kind of scream Insanity champion. We talk about how he loves playing more global-oriented, macro-based mid laners, and the Rise fits into that perfectly. But with nothing else showing in the bot lane right now, it can always slot down there, potentially for Shoryu to grab that. And oh, there we go. I was saying that you don't usually see those two combo together, but right away, OpTic picked that up.
Good engage. They have a lot of slow. You get somebody pillared, you're actually going to nail him with Rakan if Gate can get in there.
You can also start things off in the bot lane with Varus, just dropping the ult. Then it's an easier RW combo. You don't have to necessarily go for the flash to start things off. It's a fair amount of engage already for OpTic. We'll see what they round it out with. And makes sense. They're starting to ban out the protective support, starting with the Morgana. Following that line of logic, you would expect some kind of Tom Kench potentially as well.
So good for a Kennen to have something like a Morgana or even a Kayle in the game. You get in there, you could just be super reckless. See Yasuo getting taken out. What is the final bans here?
Like I said, reckless with Kennen.
He is a Kennen player, but not so much a player at the time being. I mean, it's his choice. I'm not.
Yeah, I know. It was funny.
As Real getting banned out as they hit Shoryu and Joey up a little bit, saying this bot lane has some synergy.
OpTic not read Reddit, didn't you know? Ezreal's lost 13 straight NALCS games in a row. He's not good.
Reddit analysis should be your champion select first page, right there. Be like, oh yeah, they mentioned that. An upvoted post. Legit IQ.
As much as I would love to see that Blitzcrank, I doubt it with the Rakan already taken.
Good. Wukong?
Wukong could work. Alorum is a Wukong player. We've seen some Wukong sprout up a little bit with one game in the ULCS in the mid lane. Not going to be the case, though. The Galio coming in. Bit of a Palafox mainstay. Has put a lot of games in on that champion.
Oriana's been taken out as well, as we saw. What are the picks here for the bottom lane? I'm just going to pick your support and 80 carry, so we're going to get Kaisa Braum?
Tom Kencher Braum.
Tom Kench Braum?
Braum it is.
The Braum hold is Hubbard.
How about another Reddit fact for you guys? The most picked champion in LCS history by more than 600 games.
Knowledgeify me.
I just did.
Braum.
Braum. Yeah, that's Braum.
Oh, okay. I thought there was like a lead up, but
no.
You
I'm
were
just saying
extending off.
Braum is picked a lot. Like,
yeah.
Like a lot.
Good guy. I mean, with a guy with that big of a heart, you want him on your team.
It's also really easy to play.
Yeah.
Press E. Block stuff.
I mean, the worst you can do is like fire your ult the wrong way or your shield. His shield feels worse than the ult the wrong way.
To be fair, in top level play, people will punish you for using bad shields way more than low level play.
Remember the Ornn? I almost said the F word. The Ornn messery, where you'd throw out Ornn out, get him to block the other way.
Yeah. And then if you have like more engaged from the front side,
it's so good. But they have a lot of engage coming in now. Sion and Galio. I'd say we got some Bass brothers coming in here along with the Trundle. So they got the tri-comp muscles. And you have a bit of an initiation from the bot side. Keeping it color-coded on the side of TL. Lots of blues and purples. A lot of synergy coming out of Champion Select. But also the composition.
Yeah.
Sweet itself.
It's a crazy comp for OpTic. Really low damage, but high in HP. And against a squishy team comp in TL, which is basically all carries minus the Braum, they have the opportunity to, if they get ahead, just dive. But the question and concern becomes when you go late game versus the Kaisa, you basically have no hope of matching it. So this feels a bit like a game you're going to need to snowball. Maybe not necessarily in the first 10 minutes, but between the 10 to 25-minute mark, you're going to need a lead. Whereas a lot of snowballs are supposed to start from level 1.
Right. Where to go with our eyes in beginning this one? Let's just check out inventory. Spell Thieves to Relics. See a bit of a trade there. Who can get their vision on the map first? As well as we got Dark Seals to Corrupting Potions. Palafox is going to look to make those potions work to the fullest in the start of the fight. Doran Shields on top, and junglers have machetes to begin.
Machetes.
The machetes. Clear out the jungle.
It'd be cool if you could clear brush with the machete.
Hey, what? An active? You like cut a brush for a second?
It grows back slowly.
Yeah, if junglers could do that. I always thought of that to be a thing. Like if our flame or any fire champions
like
could
a
just
rumble
take
ult?
out brush for a second. Yeah.
That'd be neat.
Grow back.
Season 9, here we come.
Yeah, but then you'd always prioritize something that could cut brush.
Maybe. I mean, it feels like it'd be pretty strong because vision play is one of those things that in competitive gets abused like a lot.
Absolutely.
So I think it's cool to see. Anyways, that's really not how the game plays right now. So we should stop talking.
Let's talk about all this theoretical stuff as the game actually happens. We call it scorching.
So, I mean, I have a concern that this will be a slow early game. Kaisa Braum, not very aggressive.
Your concern is noted, sir.
Galio and Sion are two of the tougher to punish laners. That's kind of what they're picked for, actually, is you can't punish them. Even the Kennen struggles to do much against the Sion. You can just E-spam champions at them. Bot lanes, you're most likely to get aggressive. If someone mispositions against Braum, they get stunned up. Maybe they die.
Yeah.
And otherwise, it's going to be on the junglers to make some action early on.
Oh, that's a huge club. The jungler action from Fnatic, very low.
You know what I want to talk about randomly?
Hit it.
Talk about big clubs. I don't get why Aatrox's base attack range is 225. It's 100 longer than other melee champs. There's the polearm range, which goes to 175, and that's champs like Xin Zhao or Wukong. Aatrox just has a big sword, and it's 225. Why is it 100 longer than Trundle with a big club? Why is there that hidden power in Aatrox's kit? I don't get it. Why does he need it?
It's not a hidden power. You know about it. If it was hidden, then
it's
you
hidden
wouldn't know
power
about
because
it.
I bet most players don't know that, and it actually like super affects trading patterns and farming and stuff. I don't know.
But to that sense, do you think most people know who don't play against Nasus a lot that his ult gives him range?
Probably not, but
It's okay.
But I also think it's more obnoxious on a champ who doesn't like need it for any of his actual.
You're right. When you have it all the time, it's a bit different.
Yeah, I don't know.
I see where you're coming from.
I
was playing devil's advocate.
I admit there's a lot of things that might be more impactful for Aatrox right now, but that one is just like, I don't get why it's there. Anyways,
Viper is actually taking the first one. I like the lightning rush. Getting the resistances to get out first with the tank, giving the kill over to Hard, starting that jungle off right.
Really nice dive there up on the top side. Viper making sure he took all of it. Now, a bit of aggression on the bot side. Shoryu, watch out, buddy.
Oh, that's a lot of damage. Gate taking turret shots, gets back to safety. The Ignite comes through all the way as Eclipse nails the piercing arrow to finish him off.
Yeah, really nice job by him to make sure he gets that last auto attack and to get the stack as well to make sure the Q does more damage as he activates the blight marks. And they get that kill.
TP's back.
And just as I said, this might not be a very aggressive early game, which prompted me to do that little tangent. It actually becomes very aggressive, starting with this dive here. TP comes in, and it looks like it just gets called off by the Galio himself. There was a ward over the wall by the Rise, so maybe he landed the root to stop it. Hard to know, but either way, that kill was going to come through anyways, and I doubt Galio could have done anything about it. And they just try and go for a quick trade, but Shoryu walks too far forward, gets traded back on. The third blight proc, getting applied with that last auto attack, and then the Q damage with the Ignite finishes him off. Kill goes on to the Rakan. Yeah. It's not the end of the world, but still feels bad to come back with Doran's shield and boots against the Vamp Scepter, Doran's blade.
Right. Here's taking a bit of that plasma damage. He is going to heal it right back up. I like that. Viper's actually playing aggressive with the lightning rush, but he didn't tag the back wave as to not push it too hard. He's just getting Alorm to play differently, showing Alorm that he might have safety, and he's now forced to flash over the wall. Interesting mind tricks going on top side, as that was a push-in coming from Hard as well.
Well-timed gank.
Yeah.
Right as he was trying to start getting some more vision control out. Producer confirms that that was a Rise root over the wall, so well done by Insanity to protect that dive. Looks like it would have been successful anyways, but making sure that the Galio can't get some kind of Justice Punch Flash W to clean up on Viper. And as a result, 1-for-1 overall.
This pressure onto Alorm has started to bleed into the jungle a bit. We just saw Hard taking out Fnatic's Raptor, just a few of those for himself. There's a good hit coming in for Palafox. He grabbed the ring to be a bit tankier and do more damage, but going even with minions in a fight against Insanity is almost equal.
Early on, Galio does have the power, especially with Aftershock, to trade pretty well. It starts dropping off from there. Here we go, they want this gank.
Taunts in, gonna force the flash on him. Cleanses there, doesn't have to use either as he gets a bit of passive movement speed. And Alorm, now it is not a top laner's day all day long, especially for red side. It just seems like the activation coming from blue side jungle has been very quick.
Yeah, it does feel like Alorm's not getting as much help here as he might have wanted. Nice play by Insanity, knowing that he can just scoot out of there with the phase rush proc coming in. It does not get scared off by the slows of the Chilling Smite or the Pillar. Gets out of there, holds on to his flash. So really a nice play by him. And both turrets taking some damage. Does feel like whichever side lane gets the next big play will be the one to take the turret.
Yeah.
So either TLA is going to break this top side and kind of snowball that cannon, or potentially flip side, making the same play but for Eclipse.
A Q level for Viper as well as he goes for Thundering Shuriken damage. Should bring in a pretty good cooldown once that's level 5 at 9. See him building up his ability tome so he can get his belt made up real quick and do some nice moves as he tries to get his ultimate in. I think Protobelt was crazy. Protobelt was a great addition into the game for a lot of champions. A little extra movement is always something you crave, and it's nice to be able to get that early.
Yeah, especially when it has a little bit of extra burst damage thrown in there as well. Absolutely what Kennen loves to have. Here we see Treadmill continuing to try and make plays around the mid lane, but it doesn't feel like they have any hope of working with the Khans and flash up.
I believe you just got a mark on Fnatic, so if he finds him in the jungle, it'd be good hit up for him. We'll have to keep an eye on how many Hard actually has at this point as he heads towards bot with a bit of spidey sense that something might happen.
Staying out of vision range too.
Yeah, great job there.
perfectly far back. They see this coming. They have the pink ward on Fnatic. So Fnatic has no idea that Hard's here, but they know exactly what's up on the other item.
Oh, mounting Dread and the rest of the damage, chunking him down. Palafox actually can't get to the fight either with a heroic entrance, and now they are forced back. 200 HP for him, cannot teleport back to lane. And Team Liquid grab a bit of control around the map. This may just be for vision clearing.
Yeah, I mean, they can stop this pressure that's going down the bot side. Well played by them to chunk out both the mid and jungle. No longer will a dive be available. You see Insanity's going to be able to push out one more wave. Maybe threaten the bot roam again. He did clear out one pink ward before returning back there. So he continues to kind of control the mid lane quite well.
Yeah, those minions are crashing into the turret. Good denial on Palafox. 76.
They're going top.
Alorum. He has a turret. That means we can dive him. It's basically what they're saying. It doesn't even matter what's happening topside. Time and time again. They place the ward. Even first, just to give him the upper hand to say, hey, we are here. We could still dive you. He's kind of waiting for Fnatic as well. Did he stay too long, though? One last Q in, a possible hit. Lamb's Respite there, and Alorum just goes down from the walkabout for Hard. Even the taunt on the way out as he plays with his food.
I mean, that was surprisingly casual. The fact that you had this potential three-man dive, you think you're going to get this explosive play. The rest of TLA calls it off. Viper focuses the turret. Insanity goes back to mid lane, and Hard feels like he kind of just does a, screw it, I'll jump at him and see what happens, and it gets a kill.
I mean, even ulting out of the situation.
Right.
Just ult down lane.
Yeah, that's why it felt so nonchalant. Here we go, mid lane.
Killer Instincts goes in on Palafox. He is not okay with just going down in any situation. Fnatic's going to be there to help. Subjugate goes on right away, but it's not enough to deter Team Liquid. Instantly walks away with that kill and have control over mid lane now.
Man, it feels like OpTic is almost playing limp. Like, just not putting up a fight. I don't know why Alorum doesn't ult out of there once Hard goes in. Wants to save it for I don't know what kind of play he thinks he's going to get. And then the mid lane, Palafox has flash, has ult to potentially get out of there, chooses to want to walk out, and dies as a result.
Here's mid again. What's the play?
I mean,
the walk up. Trying to
walk up, gets the root. They have the plasma stacks going in. And he knows that, you know, these are getting stacked up on him. Never flashes to get away, never ults to get away. It just feels like OpTic are holding these spells for some god tier fight that they expect to happen. And they're just going to keep getting picked off.
They feel like they have the retreat to the counter, but it's still in the strength of Team Liquid Academy. And the counter's still going in favor of Team Liquid Academy. OpTic, though, picking up ground. That is huge. They can get a Mountain Drake because they actually need a team that can get to these turrets and take them down. Being so far behind, they can't use this Brash Brothers composition that wants to dive so much. They're getting pushed back.
Well, right, I think this is going to be a tough Drake for them to even use. I'm not sure it's worth the tempo loss.
Yeah.
They're going to potentially lose a mid lane turret for that as the Rift Herald spawn.
Oh yeah, that's going down. One hit from Shelly.
Someone stay in range, someone stay in range. No one wants the local gold, all right. Anyways,
it's okay.
It doesn't matter. 3K gold lead for TLA, and we're talking about this OpTic Bash Brothers comp with a bunch of meatballs. It's going to be hard to kill anyone through the Braum, through the Kindred ultimate when they have no damage available. Fnatic doesn't have his jungle item completed. Alorum's still waiting for his first item. Palafox is not even stacking his Rod of the Ages yet, and only Eclipse has the Blade of the Rune King, but I don't know how he's supposed to get in range of a team comp that's 4 ranged champions in a Braum.
Kind of has the moment to stand still where anybody's knocked up by the grand entrance and then has to move. See the differences in gold, about 500 between lanes. Top side is significant. 113 to 78 and 5,000 gold to 3,200. So that 1,800 gold lead for Viper is really putting pressure on the game and has drawn Fnatic up a bunch of times, but we haven't seen Fnatic be able to participate. It's kind of the same thing we saw happening to Cloud9 in their loss.
And here's a red buff marked for Hard. Not only will he get the stack, he also gets to eat this red buff away. This will give him his 5th. He's actually already at 4. He is a lightning pace.
Big boy. Those 4 stacks, 75 range on abilities and auto attack. So it feels good to be able to have that on a very short range team.
Yeah, going to be able to keep applying these. Wouldn't even mind seeing a hurricane out of him at this point. I mean, sometimes you do that if you're popping off. And 2-0 feels a bit like a pop-off.
Absolutely. He's been almost part of all
Make it
of
3,
the
huh?
kills.
gets the mark on Alorum.
He's got to know. There's the pressure locked in. Early damage. What a flash in front of the ultimate from Alorum to not be able to make it out. Viper does not have the Zanya Zap, but Lamb's Respite is there. Oh, he tiptoes out of Lamb's Respite. The whoopsie gets him taken down, and Alorum finally comes up. He has been trying his damnedest all game, and he may have just made the play that helps OpTic get back in the game. A shutdown onto Hard brings a little gold back into the pocket of OpTic.
Mental boom. That play had a lot of problems with it.
A little bit of mental fart there as well by TLA.
Yeah, I mean, Viper probably jumped the gun a little bit. Hard was kind of tiptoeing around if he wanted to go through the front side of the turret or the back side of the turret, and Viper just says, I'm going now. And then Hard kind of reactively has to go in, drops the ultimate, which stops the dive from really working out, and then Viper, watch this. All right, so here's Hard. He's kind of
just
watch the mini-map. Hard's deciding which side he wants to go on. Viper says, I'm going to just charge in the front, flashes in front to stop the ultimate.
Though.
That was a good play, but Hard was not in position. He's finally jumping in here as Viper's about to die. Drops the Lamb's Respite, and Viper, with the turret still on him, runs
He's like
out.
1 foot in, 1 foot out.
I mean, what he was trying to do was drop the turret aggro when he was invulnerable, so that way when he suddenly became vulnerable again, he's not going to die to the turret shot. I get that, but the turret shot's in the air when he stepped out, so he's going to die for that one, gets punished, and then Hard, the homeboy, tried to survive it, gets killed as well. And now Alorum has his, oh god, adaptive helm completed, which is pretty strong against TLA's team comp.
True. He meets up with Insanity, who hasn't seen yet, but still, he'll be able to stay and hopefully put up the crowd control that allows Eclipse, the backline, to start doing a bit of damage. He's now got Zerker Greaves, but no real item that can shred too many. That Blade of the Rune King's only going to do so much damage to non-tanky targets. Gate getting a little bit of that vision pushed forward, so OpTic has a chance to delay engages or even react to what Team Liquid is doing. A few hits here, and the lane gets pushed up. Looks like Viper's feeling good on the top side to just keep clearing. You might get a Rylai's next.
See what he's going for. Could be a Morello Nomicon.
Could be Morello. That's true. Oh yeah, blast him.
Yeah, a lot of things he can turn into that. Could also be a Haunting Guy, or well yeah, Haunting Guys into the item who I can't remember the name right now, Leandries. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world versus a pretty high HP team comp, but I gotta think you're looking for more burst to blow up Eclipse, the one real damage dealer with your flanks. So Morello Nomicon would not surprise me here.
Well, I guess Adaptive Helm ticks against the burn, right? Madness burn?
Yeah, so I don't think you really want that.
Yeah, interesting.
See what he goes. Going back to base right now. Maybe we get to see what he completes. Nope. Cancels the recall. Makes me a liar.
Eating crow. Coming up on 16 minutes. And those kills even this out at 3-3. That does not mean the map pressure is all that even, but it does go to show Liquid is making a lot of their moves without having to take OpTic off the map. Here, they'll still take a bit of OpTic off the map. Dropping down Palafox. Teleport actually canceled on the bot side as they were going to bring in another member in Viper, I believe. And now they start to move down towards the bot side. That's going to be a down turret in favor of TLA as they drop all 3 outer turrets, but have not had a chance to push forward Vision.
Ooh, he gets another mark off that blue buff too. Hard has done a disgusting job counter jungling and getting kills this game. That's a big Kindred.
Kindred picks have been stepping up for everybody. I think in Power of the Champion, it's a jungler you can feel good on in general. You can escape a lot. You can make plays yourself. And a lot of the junglers that were not having good seasons, Mike Young, Hard, falling behind a little bit, feel so comfortable on this champion. It's had that success for quite a few junglers.
Has a lot of individual carry potential. A lot of junglers have agency. You know, when they decide they want to pull the trigger or whatnot, but they're usually not the ones grabbing the kills, going 3-1, and starting to build a Blade of the Rune King. So feels much better for actual carrying.
Still able to squeeze Vision in there as well. Great clip of farming, 129 to 81 of Fnatic. A lot of the Trundle has been trying to just figure out where Hard's going to be, how to trail his kind of path around the jungle. Right now they have a chance to breathe. It's going to be buy time for OpTic. We'll see what they get as that Rod of Ages is finally charging up here for Palafox. There's still such a wombo combo fight for OpTic to be had if they can keep TLA in one spot for only a few seconds. I think TLA is so privy to that knowledge, though. They haven't even grouped once enough for that to happen.
Yeah, definitely. That's the problem with this beefy wombo combo team comp, and why I said they need to get ahead in the
it's easy to read.
10 to 20 minutes is, yeah, you guys want to group up and dive us. So we're going to keep splitting you up. We're going to 1-3-1. When you group up mid, we'll play really far back, and hopefully the Kindred's around to drop an ultimate if you do decide to dive. So here you see them playing super respectful to what Fnatic do. Well timed because Fnatic was back in base, or excuse me, Hard was back in base. So I think if Hard was alive there, they would have been a little bit more willing to step up and try and defend that turret. But here comes the sidewave pressure. Everyone has to back off and group or break up to the top side, hoping to catch Rise out potentially. But no one's home.
Lock down that mark as well. Yeah, they go straight for it. They're like, Hard is huge. Take all of these marks. It's not so hard for him to get into that side of the jungle right now. They almost own everything as a team. He's already on the bot side, starting to clear those resources. Glacial Shroud for Alorum, a little more defense, a little more cooldown to get those waves cleared as he's about to see a 2v1. The pressure on him has been ridiculous this game. Even if he's not finding this damage, which I thought Hard and Viper were just going to back off, they can instantly apply it. Ult taken out of him. Makes it so much harder for Alorum to be a part of these fights. Palafox slowly getting walked down the lane. Deja vu from what happened to Alorum earlier. The Justice Punch gets him into safe range. Realm Warp's gonna put Insanity in the right spot to lock down the kill. A 1v1 secured across the map. And now the turret's gonna go down as well. Team Liquid Academy are not stopping.
Yeah, and you saw that temporarily Insanity wanted to recall out because he thought he was going to get collapsed on. Turns out they just go up mid lane. Yeah. He returns to pushing up in the top side. Now Viper's going for the flank on the people in the mid.
Flash in, a great three-man stun. Glacial Fissure back. The damage to OpTic is absolutely huge. These fights are not fights you can turn around on, even if you think you have a second way to get in. Alorum left by himself as 4 members are down now. Palafox already down from the other fight, so you can see even how scattered Team Liquid is able to take down OpTic is making it impossible to find a comeback.
And here we go, right on the Baron after they get that clean 4 kills in the mid lane and top. No fight back out of OpTic here. Those 2 kills that they did get were basically a flub tower dive out of TLA.
See this again, I mean, these ults as well as Kennen feel, this is what you want. This is the quintessential ult.
Oh yeah, this is the perfect play. You see the follow-up by Shoryu able to ult in. They just have no damage but the Varus, who gets popped instantly. And then they easily find this chase down. 3 kills for them, then 20 minutes right at Baron with Kaisa. Easy takedown. They also had Hard, who's extremely fed. I mean, Insanity didn't even group up. He took the top turret by himself, didn't want any help. And now there's only 1 outer left, or inner, excuse me, left at 21 minutes into the game with a Baron buff up. They're returning to the side lanes. They have TP on Viper, TP on Shoryu. Rise has his ult up. They're going to try and find a pickoff here for OpTic down the bot side, but Viper's already out of there. They got to get some more vision control on the side of TLA here. They have a lot in the top side, but none really around mid or bottom. So a little hard to push up where you don't know where the enemy is.
It's good by OpTic to get those pink boards out as fast as possible. Saying, man, we need at least a defensive line of vision, even if it doesn't provide us defense as a wall.
Take it.
Killer instincts, how killer is it?
Didn't have the cooldown up, unfortunately. Just came up. Probably shouldn't take it even if it was. It would have been a little risky. And here we see the 1-3-1. Hard is shadowing in the brush.
The Kai syndrome.
And here we go. Now they have 3 lanes of pressure just as they need. They're going to push that in and collapse mid. Palafox does have ultimate as the Galio, so he can potentially stop this from going down. But
Gate? That was an interesting standstill from Gate. Joey gets the airborne onto Fnatic, so he can't get back with the pillar too fast. Still able to fire in from the outside. Insanity's just out of turret range. Here now comes Viper trying to sink his phase in. Gets out of turret range just in time, but he makes OpTic retreat. Alorum is dead and tries to do what he can from the grave, but goes down to the crowd control and team fight of TLA. An instant realm warp to the bot side is instant pressure around the map, and there is just no way OpTic can handle it.
Nice move there by TLA. They decide they want to get that inhib down ASAP. They don't want to wait for the minion wave to come mid. So they realm warp down to that bot side, grab that turret. I thought for a second maybe they're going to go super greed mode trying to end the game. back off instead. They still got a little bit of time on this Baron buff to reuse it, so they get the Empowered Recall off. Big flank by Viper here. It could have gone a little bit better. Couldn't quite get onto the members that he wanted to. But overall, a great fight by them. Joey gets kind of chains his seat under the turret, and then that taunt really stops Viper from continuing on to Eclipse and getting all those kills. Shoryu, I think it was a good decision to back out there because Palafox had a Justice Punch coming his way.
Yeah.
Not want to get locked up between the turrets. They played a little slow. They get their 3 kills. They go bot lane. They grab their inhib. And now we got the brush baits by OpTic. Here we go. Here we don't go.
Start it up, snuff it out. The Ocean Drakes as well playing in favor of Team Liquid. OpTic probably not happy to see that. Now Liquid can stay out on the map and pepper OpTic that much more. Another Bushwhack trying to be set up in the mid lane, thwarted by a quick alteration orb. And they have one more left so they can move up safely. You want to be able to, be sure you can place that deep vision.
And here's how you know Viper is a Riven player. Goes Spellbinder. Does not want to get the Zhonyas to make the safe engages. He wants to blow people up.
That's the best part about Stopwatch now. I love getting it early. It becomes such a hard thing to do in the game to say, you can have this early, you can have this early. It's like, why not put a sword to every pickaxe or this to this, right? It's like, oh, because you can buy that all the time. But, man, being able to get these items for Viper, now that he has a Stopwatch, feels so good using that ultimate.
Wants the damage while still getting some of the survivability.
Hell yeah.
Doesn't need to go full Zhonyas.
Joey's like, hit it early. I got the tanks. Delivering some nice gold around the map for another turret here. Bot wave is coming in for TLA, so they start to pressure mid. A split from Viper top as his flash is coming up, so he can come flying in with the flank if necessary.
See if they can do anything. Sion's going to try and hold that bot wave, but I'm sure that's going to be a bit of a struggle for him. Doesn't do too much damage. Nice percent health damage from the W, but you see this Super Creep's not going to go down easy. 2v1. Can the Sion clear it? Really struggling. All right, TLA, please just kill him. Find and engage, please, TLA.
Get him.
Bam! Bot wave cleared.
He almost had me. I was about to start casting. If I had blinked at that moment, I would have been into fight.
I'll try and keep my hype levels in check.
2 minutes onto the Baron. Drake is up as they got some great wave clear on the side of TLA, but they're not able to get into the base. They're being a little too reserved about it. Here they feel like they have the confidence, only seeing 2 members up. Joey's shield there, but it is going to be Gate going in, gets a good charm down, and they drop down hard. Lamb's Respite will not be helped. Slicing Maelstrom comes in, and that's going to be the stopwatch. Big return on investment, but he goes down to the winds of war as Viper has fallen. Joey's going to come up next. He's going to be grabbing a cup of coffee, but he stays alive anyways. And now Insanity makes himself gold for the end game. Alorem, trying to get himself to safety. Good hit with the Decimate. Eclipse throws down the hail of arrows to slow down the fight. Wow, let's do the Realm Warp again. And TLA is inside the base. Alorem outside says, get out of my house. As Joey looks for his way home, there's no chimney to go up for him, so he's got to run the long way down lane. And that fight, coast to coast, stayed on the side of OpTic, and they were able to win it. Let's see it again.
Let's watch hard here. He's the big guy who's supposed to keep them alive through all this dive, and he is the first one to drop.
Bam!
Nice engage by Gate there, finding the key target, and then here, even though he has the stopwatch available, he would have wanted to pop it a long time ago, but he pops it after all the damage already gets done. He gets taunted up, knocked up, and so by the time he uses his stopwatch, his ult is already off, so Viper's going to get dropped as well. This was a really nice stopwatch by Insanity. Perfect timing to stop any of the CC from coming in, but then this is where the meatball comp is pretty strong. They're trying to find a kill, but they're so hard to actually finish off, and then I can't believe they actually took that in. Very aggressive. Insanity still had some shields up, but Varus is relatively strong at this point in the game, and Alorem just can't get finished off. I wouldn't call that trolling, but I would call that ambitious.
Yeah, very ambitious. You think of the win conditions a team has, and seeing them go away from that, you wonder, okay, a little lax, again, all right, maybe breaking mentality. A third time, you've known they've thrown the win condition out the window. That's the first time we saw them group for OpTic 5v5, and we saw how bad it went. here. They're grouping again, possibly having enough time with the Baron. They absolutely do. And now they can really avoid grouping for that 5v5 again.
Yeah, I mean, I think grouping for the 5v5 is fine, provided Kindred actually stays alive during it.
That's a great point.
Yeah, because I think if Shoryu's not engaged on and Kindred's keeping people alive, you have the damage from Insanity and Shoryu to absolutely rip through the enemy team. It's just, you need to actually play those fights correctly. Also, like I said, Viper getting stunned up pretty well by the enemy team. I think OpTic actually played that fight pretty well, all things considered. And with that, their bot inhib has respawned, so if TLA are not careful, I mean, it is a 13K gold lead still, but if they're not careful, potentially, things can get turned around, and no surprise as Viper goes for a Void Staff instead of continuing to finish his Zanya's.
Damage, damage, damage. It's like, I can't finish the Zanya's now, but I can finish this item. Hell yeah. I gotta give credit to Alorum this game. The man has taken a beating. And it still has the items he needs to be a tank that is affecting the endgame fight. Eclipse, however, getting him a little too close for comfort there, now allows TLA to get some more free time with the inhibitor turret. Top inhibitor is the only one that stands. Is start to focus the bottom side of the map, bringing also Viper into the base, and the super minions start to do work. I'm sorry, Baroned up minions start to do work.
And OpTic are going to have to force a fight here with the base broken open. That's 2 inhibs down. TLA is just going to rotate up to the top side. They already have a wave on the way, and if they lose triple inhib, this is all but over.
What's
OpTic.
the best engage, Mark? What are your eyes on? OpTic towards TLA. Who are you looking for?
I'm watching for Gate mostly. If he can find a good engage onto them again, as we see here, the Realm Warp up to the top side, they're going to escort this minion wave in. They need to go before they lose their third inhibitor, so hopefully Gate goes to the base gate here. There's no vision actually up on the top side, so we can find a really good flank and then maybe combo together with the Galio. Instead, not going to happen as TLA drops some wards on the base gate.
Gates flash is down. He's hovering the top side, goes in, great pillar. They are going to be able to get one as they lose Viper immediately. That's a lot of AoE. The ulcer in, and Palafox is trying to taunt the front line as he's going to go down to a 3v1 situation, a double kill, however, for Eclipse, as now this Varus, we said, very big from the back side, and they're able to slightly weather the storms. Can they stay for the long haul, though? Insanity and the rest of the team using the Siege Minion to keep damage on the turret as mid lane is getting piled in on by super minions. Alorum has to control that, do a little janitorial duty to prune the minion wave, and now they're able to push back. Slight victories here for OpTic. They did lose a lot before they could get that victory, but means TLA could keep coming back. We'll see it again.
And even though I said Gate was the one to watch, that was really kicked off by Fnatic with the excellent pillar behind the cannon, making sure he had no way out without his flash. Can't get through that. And then good follow-up by Gate. However, I got to look at Hard again and wonder why he did not ult to save either of his teammates. That's one of the big things about your team comp is you can chew through the enemy's front line with the Kindred ult available. Wasn't able to save Viper, understandable with how quick that engage was, but not able to save Joey either. Yeah. Goes through that whole fight without ulting. TLA are still in a fine spot as they grab another Drake. They're going to meet back up on the top side most likely, as some members still have Baron buff up for 20 seconds. It's going to be hard to get that used in time, but still not as clean as you would have hoped for.
And it shows the importance. Now, obviously, he could have Zanya's by now, but wouldn't have had Zanya's after the stopwatch buy, so he bought the Void Staff. But it does show the importance of if a game gets close, Kennen needed to be in the fight, you need to have that invulnerability. Your damage has to go for the extent of everything. And they're able to shut these guys down now that they have 3 huge health tanks in Palafox, Fnatic, and Alorum. It's hard for TLA to cut through.
Yeah, definitely. That's one of the things I don't really love about the Spellbinder is like you're already smashing, you're billion gold up. You don't need more damage. Get something like utility to help you actually.
That's like we're going to close the game. Oops, if we don't.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like it looks great when you one-shot somebody, but otherwise you don't really need to do that. You need to go in there and ult and stay alive. And 2 fights in a row, not able to do that for Viper, really.
And they're sorting out the magic positions, too. Locket of the Iron Solari on Fnatic. Zeke's onto Gate, so he gets a little bit for himself, but also utility now for Eclipse. Those items are starting to come in, which are helping OpTic in the areas they were falling short before. That little bit of utility that helps steroid the rest of their team. 14-10, 32 minutes in. You gotta say TLA is still in the driver's seat here.
95% chance they still win this game.
Absolutely.
And they still have, like we said, 13K gold lead, so despite these blunders, it hasn't really increased for OpTic as they have not been able to find any global gold as comes up just short.
Oh my word, just the miss there. Hard getting locked up, but that is the initiation that I feel like makes TLA feel pretty comfortable about stepping closer to these turrets.
Yeah, that's the problem is if you whiff one, suddenly TLA gets emboldened to walk up, and it was a really good look, and if they found that, maybe Gate continues to prolong this game, but couldn't quite do it.
There's another pillar. Deja vu for the initiation coming from OpTic. Slicing Maelstrom gets cut back. Viper tries to get to the back line, and they're able to fight on both fronts. Beautifully done. Palafox is in, but look at the 3 tanks standing now. They drop the damage in Eclipse. What can they do to protect the turrets? 4 members of TLA now stand tall inside the base of OpTic as they look to push themselves further and possibly take that 3rd position here in the spring split as they move towards a higher playoff spot. Damage now onto Palafox as he Justice punches in one more time for checks and balances, but it's all about Joey getting the kills. Fnatic looking for the fountain, possible kills on that. And they're gonna be able to knock down the Nexus turrets. Eyes on the Nexus, somebody picking up a little extra gold, and TLA is losing their collective minds as they dive the turret, but still pick up the win, moving to 10-6 in the summer split.
Yeah, Insanity realm warping the minions into the fountain to make sure that they tank it first.
Have to.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Great.
They're able to keep them alive. They find one more kill on the end of a game that ended much slower than I think anyone was anticipating. Some blunders by TLA, some good engages by OpTic as well to punish the over-aggression out of TLA, and that's something that, you know, TLA was probably getting a little out of hand in comms during that game, feeling themselves too much, and hopefully this is a bit of a check against that as they move closer to the playoffs, where once you're in best of 5s, you never want to let a game like that slip away.
I think we actually saw the hyphiness lead into that dive on the fountain. Fun fact as well, attacking on the fountain doesn't call for help.
Nope.
So if you get the minions in there and you're still fighting, that turret is not mad at you.
Oh yeah, you get couple minions in there, you can fountain dive to heart's content.
It's good stuff. So TLA slowly building an advantage is where we're going to start out on the replays as we jump back into game, and they just instantly break open the game after these advantages. They say, we've gone top a lot, let's go mid.
This is after they've already got a Baron buff too, so you know this game's pretty out of hand when we're talking about a 21-minute fight around mid lane. Good flank by Viper, really well played Kennen for the first 20 minutes of this game, as well as Hard, who had a monstrous performance. Got a ton of kills, and OpTic were kind of on the back foot until they were finally at their inhibitors where they couldn't go back anymore.
That's one thing that I think a lot of people forget about is, like, no matter what composition you have, pushing a team in, maybe you can be 10,000 gold ahead, and it's just easy, but closing those base walls makes a team whatever X factor stronger, and you have to be ready for that. And 3 frontline tanks with a Trundle and where to close you up is actually how OpTic, we see get back in these replays, was able to funnel TLA onto those front steps and kind of have a little bit of a comeback fight.
Yeah, and this is once again, nice play by Gate, the flash W engage onto the Kindred, knocked up, taunted up, never had a chance to get his ultimate off, and then here, once again, more taunts and knockups onto the Kennen. They stopped him from being able to get his Zhonya's off until his ult's already out, and he's at 200 HP, so he gets finished off. Joey trying to get chased down, barely gets out. Excellent stopwatch there to make sure he does not get chain CC'd and finished off, but at this point, they've kind of baited TLA into this really scrappy fight where they feel like they're super far ahead and can't lose it, so they take a very questionable realm warp into the
Whee! A few kills there.
Yeah, and they still find 1 kill traded back, but at this point, they're kind of chunked out. Eclipse finds a nice cleanup kill, and just one of those plays where you're not going to lose the game because of it, but you're definitely not closing it out cleanly.
And then we see Team Liquid not close it out, but Team Liquid close it out finally as they push into the base. It was kind of rinse and repeat on the side of OpTic. They said, we can go in with Rakan, we can keep getting these engages, but the one time the ult wasn't there, Team Liquid bit back harder.
Yeah, sure, you almost died, dropped down to 100 health again, and that was without Gates engage, which had previously been blown, trying to pick off Hard once again, but because they didn't get it, that time Viper finds a nice flank wrapping around, does die for it, drops 2 of them, and then you see, you know, it is still pretty hard to chew through all this giant meat ball lineup that they have, but at this point, they're so far ahead. It's not the end of the road. They chase down, they find a lot of kills here, and then we'll see this Realm Warp play. Here you go, watch Insanity, drops the ultimate, starts channeling the super creeps onto the base, and the Fountain Turret grabs those as the target, so they're able to find that 1 more kill on Fnatic. Alorum hugging the very back of the base.
Ooh, look at that. How to ride that gold path.
Yeah, I mean,
a little up and down.
Sometimes you see that gold graph and you're like, but it was only 5K, so it makes sense that it was a little back and forth. That's about a 13K gold lead at 21 minutes.
Yeah.
So should not have been that up and down from that point on.
Feels pretty great. Team Liquid Academy as well with this game locked themselves in for that playoff spot, so nobody can shove them around or any games underneath will push them out. So that feels pretty good. Now there's the work for that last bye.
Yeah, and I think this will be a really tight race between CLG and TLA because they've only played once so far this split. TLA took that win. They'll play them next week, and if they grab that one, then they will get it for themselves. If CLG win, I'm pretty sure they have the advantage. Depends how the other games go, because there's a chance that they lose the games not versus each other.
Yeah.
But that would be pretty not hype, so I hope they don't do that.
Well, let's hear how they feel about it. To hear more about that victory, I'd like to welcome to the broadcast Hard via Skype. Hard, congratulations on the win. And how'd it feel, man? It was kind of back and forth, but you guys seem to just be gunning for fights everywhere.
Thanks so much. I don't think, I mean, at least from our end, it didn't seem that back and forth. I think we felt pretty control in it. There's that one team fight mid. It was kind of unlucky. I got hit by everything, so that was kind of unfortunate. But yeah, it seemed like a pretty simple game, I think, yeah.
So how about talking about the draft a little bit, because it started out in a way where they had this giant comp full of tanks. You had all range champions. So, like, what did you think heading into the game before, it kind of completely swung in your favor?
I think the moment they gave us first pick Kindred and then they locked in a bunch of tanks, the game seemed free from that point. I think Kindred's probably the best jungler to just straight up shred in like 1v9 team fights if the entire enemy team comp consists of melee tanks. It's just really easy to kite them, and she does way too much damage to the tanks. And I think that game I had like 13 marks or 12 marks, so my W was hitting them for like probably like 13% of their max health. So it was so much.
So looking towards the end of the season now, you guys have a chance for that kind of playoff bye that's coming up. What have you guys been doing now towards the end to kind of refocus and make sure that this is a position you guys can grab?
Actually, I think it's pretty good that you bring it up because I think leading up until now, we've kind of had like a similar practice regimen. But I think at least losing or going 1-1 yet another week, I think it's kind of like finally like the last wake-up call, especially coming into the last week where we need to lock in the second or the second spot, I guess, right? I think we have to figure that out still, but I think we're just gonna probably just try to have less fun and try harder,
Yeah, it definitely looked like you guys had some fun this game at the end. But now you're talking about getting that second playoff bye. You guys are playing CLG, I believe, next week, who are currently the holders of that spot. So is that a match you guys are going to be amped up for?
Yeah, I think that's the match right now we're talking about the most. Like, even coming into the OpTic game, like I think most of us were just thinking about next week and how we have to play CLG for second. I don't think we're too worried about it. Like we have like such an insanely like high scrim record against them, so I think we're probably going to be fine.
A lot of confidence. That's awesome. Well, congratulations on the win, and hopefully all that exudes into next week's games for you guys.
Thanks so much, guys.
So with week 6 complete, let's take a look at the standings and our playoff picture as it stands. Cloud9 Academy tops the table despite suffering their second loss of the split earlier today. Chronologic Gaming holds sole possession of that second place, but Team Liquid is keeping pace, just one win behind in third. Those teams have all locked in their playoff spots, but the remaining 3 are still up for grabs. Clutch, 100 Thieves, and FlyQuest are currently in the running for that, but are still within striking distance of OpTic and both OpTic Gaming and TSM Academy. We'll have to wait until next week to see who advances, obviously, but we're not done with League for the weekend because the NALCS is just one sleep away. Tomorrow's action starts with a rematch of the spring finals in Game 1. Don't miss it. Then CLG take on Echo Fox in Game 3, with TSM going up against Golden Guardians to close out Saturday's matches.
Pretty presumptuous, Riv. That's one sleep away. I'm polyphasic sleep cycle. I sleep 5 times for 2 hours. Now, 2 hours would be a lot. That'd be 10 hours of sleep. I actually don't do that.
One of those is actually better where you sleep only a few hours a day.
Yeah, they
Wake
say
up.
you're supposed to do like, I don't know, two hours nap, wake up for 4, 2 hours, I don't know.
We're all doing it wrong. Well, if you are looking to scratch that League of Legends itch right now and you're just nocturnal, there's more action coming right up with a rebroadcast of this morning's EULCS matches ahead of their live Day 2 broadcast, starting with the pregame lobby at 8:30 a.m. Pacific, 4:30 Central European Time. Thank you. Now for myself, Mark, and the entire live broadcast crew and the Academy crew, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week for the NA Academy League.
Aggression on the bot side. Sure you. Watch out, buddy.
Oh, that's a lot of damage. Date taking turret shots, gets back to safety. The Ignite comes through all the way. Early damage. What a flash in front of the ultimate from Alorum to not be able to make it out. Viper does not have the Zanya Zep, but Lamb's Respite is there. Oh, he tiptoes out of Lamb's Respite. The whoopsie. Still able to fire in from the outside. Insanity's just out of turret range. Here now comes Viper trying to sink his phase in. Gets out of turret range just in time to slow down the fight. Wow, let's do the round warp again. And TLA is inside the base.